Today on Mr. Bach, rates. Last week we talked about ratios, and a ratio gives us a comparison of two different things. Well, a rate is kind of similar. It gives us a comparison of two different things that have different units. Okay, and by units, things like hours or kilometers or meters or something like this, dollars. Okay, so it compares two things with different units. So here's an example. I've been doing a lot of mountain biking lately, mostly because there's not a lot else to do outside. So one of my rides I did recently, it says a mountain biker, this is actually me. So a mountain biker rides 24.3 kilometers in 2.25 hours. This is 2 hours and 15 minutes. 0.25 of an hour would be 15 minutes. So 2.25 hours. What is the average speed? Okay, so obviously the speed is changing, sometimes going faster and slower, but on average, what would be the speed? So this is a rate, okay? Speed is a rate because it's comparing something that's measured in kilometers, one unit, to something else that's measured in hours, a different unit, okay? So we're looking for the average speed in kilometers per hour. So the rate, okay, the average speed is going to be 24.3 kilometers per, we divide per, 2.25 hours. Okay, now this is a perfectly good rate, okay? It's compared two quantities with different units, but it's a little bit hard to manage because if we're looking at this, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what the speed is when you see this. So what we want to do is make it what we call a unit rate, okay? And so a unit rate is, instead of how many kilometers per 2.25 hours, we want to know how many kilometers is it per 1 hour. And so to do this, what we're going to do is divide. We're going to take our calculator and we're going to divide 24.3 divided by 2.25. And I did that over here in advance, just so that we would have it. And if we divide these two numbers, we get 10.8. Now, whenever we've got a rate, you have to have the units in it. So what are the units that go along with this? It's 10.8 kilometers per hour. Okay? Sometimes you'll see this written as a slash, but really it's a fraction. And what this really is 10.8 kilometers per 1 hour. This is a unit rate. We can write it this way, but typically we omit the 1 in the denominator and just write it as 10.8 kilometers per hour or something like this. Okay? But there'd be nothing wrong with leaving the 1 in there. All right, good. Well, you can't go to Tim Hortons or Starbucks anymore because those are closed, but we can still get coffees. And a 12-ounce coffee, I don't know why coffee is measured in ounces, but a 12-ounce coffee costs $2.40, while a 20-ounce coffee costs $3.60. The question is here, which is the better buy? Well, we'll see how we can answer that. So one of the first things we can do is we can make a unit rate like we did with the mountain biker. We can make a unit rate for these. So if we look at the 12-ounce one, the smaller one, I'll just write 12 ounce here. It costs $2.40, 2.40 per 12 ounces. So this is a rate, but it's hard, okay? And the 20-ounce one costs $3.60 per 20 ounces. So these are the two rates, but it's hard to compare them without making them into unit rates. So what we were going to want to do here is make these into unit rates. So to do that, we're going to divide. We're going to divide 2.4 divided by 12, okay? And I did that in advance, and we got 0.2. Now, we got to make sense of this. What are the units for this? Dollars per ounce. So dollars typically gets put in front, although most units go behind the number. Dollars goes in front of the number. $0.2 per 1 ounce. Now, when we're talking about money with decimals, we like to go to 2 decimal places because we're talking about dollars and cents. So I would write it as 0.20, that's 20 cents per 1 ounce, okay? This is a unit rate. I don't have to write the 1 if I don't want to, but I'm going to leave it in there just to make it obvious. We'll do the same thing here. $3.60 divided by 20 ounces. So 3.6 divided by 20. I did that with my calculator, and I got 0.18. Again, the units would be dollars per 1 ounce. Now, I don't have to write the ones if I don't want to, and I can drop it and write it like this as dollars per ounce. Either way would be totally fine. So we see that the 20-ounce one has a cheaper, a lower amount of money required per ounce. So if we're strictly looking at how much does my coffee cost, I want as much as possible, the 20-ounce one certainly has a lower price per ounce, okay? But the question is saying, which is the better buy? And really it comes down to, do I want 20 ounces of coffee or 12 ounces of coffee? That's quite a big difference. This is almost twice as much. So this is quite a bit more coffee. Maybe I don't want to buy that much. So there's a number of different factors that you might have to consider. But if we're strictly looking at cost per ounce, the 20-ounce one has the lower unit rate. This was the first of 2 videos on rates. Have a look at the next one, and we'll be right back.